FC, can surprise me. Couple of surprises in the last couple of days. One on the pitch, and one, well, maybe not a surprise, but a big disappointment off the pitch. And I'll get to that in a moment. I'm doing this a little late because I wanted to see how the Real Salt Lake and Arabia Nito game was going to go in regards to TFC's now renewed opportunity based on the draw last night in Mexico City against Cruz Azul to qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League. The math works out as follows. As it stands right now at the half, Salt Lake City is just demolishing the Panamanians, Arabia Nito, away 3-1, and I'm confident enough in that result to do the blog right now. So here's what's going to happen. TFC obviously has to win out. They've got to beat Salt Lake City next Tuesday at home, and they've got to beat the Panamanian Arabs in October to secure 10 points. If they do that, and if RSL beats Arabia Nito tonight, which I'm pretty confident they're going to do, and if they beat Cruz Azul in Salt Lake City, well, then it's going to be RSL finishing first and TFC finishing second. Cruz Azul, I think, without a doubt, are going to beat Arabia Nito at home. The key game for TFC is them losing, hopefully losing, when they play Salt Lake City in Salt Lake City later this year. If that game's a draw, I think the math gets a little more complicated, and I'm going to try to put it in writing up on the blog tomorrow. But they're still going to need a lot of help, but they're not dead and buried. So TFC can finish in second place, probably no worse than third in the CONCACAF Champions League qualifying stages. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think Cruz Azul can beat any of these teams on any given day. But hey, TFC went into their house last night and played a very, very gutsy performance in Mexico to actually get that draw last night. Three players really stood out for me. Ty Harden, who's been a very able substitute for Nana Adekora, who's been away with some family issues, who's now back with the team, has done really, really well lately. Nick Garcia, to his credit, had what I would argue probably his best game in a TFC uniform this year last night as well. And Adrian Can, especially Adrian Can, who wore the captain's armband at the start of the game yesterday evening until Dero came on in like the 30th minute after a couple of injuries to Martin Saric and one other player whose name escapes me right now. Anyway, Can was absolutely superb last night. I don't know what it is. I'm an Arsenal fan, as I've probably mentioned to you folks on this blog before. And Arsenal over the last few years has always had trouble with Bolton Wanderers, especially when Sam Allardyce was coaching there. Arsenal was 20, 30 points ahead of them in the standings every year, but yet they'd always have a hell of a time playing them. Maybe TFC is Cruz Azul's Bolton. Who knows? But anyway, we really did a good job as a club last night in shutting them down, keeping their shape, and absorbing a lot of their play, especially from the wings. That's again based, I think, on motivation, on heart, and again, I think it's a little early to pass judgment, but 1-1-1 in the last three is not too bad, eh, Nick Dasovic and Danny Dicchio? Not too bad at all. So the Champions League is not a done deal as of yet, and Dasovic, again to his credit, rested a number of starters for the critical game against San Jose on the weekend, which is pretty well a make-or-break game for the MLS playoffs. So, surprise, surprise, we're still in the hunt. Nobody thought that they'd get a point last night in Mexico, and I'll be damned if they didn't. So that's the surprise. The disappointment I talked about in very great detail on my blog yesterday in writing about the ticket increases for TFC in 2011 and the fact that season ticket holders have to, whether they want to go to the game or not, have to buy MLS Cup tickets. I've said in this space numerous times that MLSE is a business, and I don't begrudge them wanting to make a profit. And at the end of the day, they can do as they please. But I really think that they're almost structurally sort of tone deaf, for want of a better term, to the difference between soccer and some of their other sports properties like hockey and basketball. You don't, for example, and this is something I railed on last year, and they haven't announced any details about the half-pack season tickets yet, but if they put Marlboro tickets, Toronto Marlies tickets in with the TFC season ticket packages again, come on, give me a freaking break. I bought those tickets on a half-pack last year that I've been holding for a while that I sold to a friend, and I never used a single Marley ticket. My girlfriend had a half-pack. She actually never used a single Marlies ticket either. It's absolutely disgraceful that you misread your fan base so much. I know people from Toronto. One guy who lives very, very close to me, he was one of the top boys or one of the big supporters groups, lives close to me here in downtown Toronto. I'm watching the game last night from Mexico City, and I see a picture in the stands, and there he is. He got on an airplane, flew to Mexico City for one day to see Toronto FC play an away game in the Champions League. And you're going to be charging TFC, that guy, for frankly what's been an inferior product over the last 4 years. You're going to be giving that guy a 10% increase on his tickets, and you're going to be forcing him to buy tickets to the MLS Cup that he may not even want. I just don't see the fairness there. If the team was winning championships and there was a need to invest more money in the club, do you know what? I could probably understand that, and I could probably let it slide. But I can tell you right now, a lot of people in the next 3 weeks, which is when the season ticket renewal deadline, I think, comes and goes, there's going to be a lot of churn and a lot of turnover and a lot of anger directed towards TFC. I really hope that Paul Byrne and Tom Anselmi and company get out there, get their faces out in the public, and start answering questions from fans. It's not good enough to write a nice little smarmy, thank you, season ticket holders, you're the best, you're wonderful people, blah, 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 like you did on the website, and not come across with some explanation as to why there's such an increase in season tickets for 2011 and why there's this arbitrary inclusion of the MLS Cup that, frankly, a lot of fans aren't interested in. So I'm looking forward to seeing how TFC responds to this over the next coming days and weeks, because they're really, really running the risk of alienating people like my friend who went to Mexico yesterday. You're going to be pricing people out of the stadium, and you're going to be pissing off your most important fans, like people that spend their own money outside of the stadium to support their team. So that's it. There'll be another video blog up on Saturday after the game, of course, against San Jose. It'll be nice to see Sam Cronin again. Hopefully he'll leave with 0 points. You guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the weekend. Cheers.